Hi, people. Good evening. And thank God the day is here, finally. My name is Dr. Solomon, aka Mama Budua, the face behind Bedroom Zone. The journey so far, by the grace of God, so this evening with Mr. Temi and Mrs. Elisha Kolade, where they will be sharing their life experience with us, the journey of marriage, and by the grace of God, how he was able to overcome. Thank you for joining me. As you are joining me, please do share. And the Lord will help us. Everyone, I greet you and thank you. The program for tonight is between Bedroom Zone and Temi and Elisha Kolade. They are going to be taking us through their life journey. Can you please introduce yourself?
Okay, my name is Elisha Kolade, and I've got my wife here, Temi Kolade. So we're married. We're married for 7 years now. Blessed with 2 wonderful boys. We give God the praise, and we're happy to be here. So thank you for having us.
Thank you very much. I really don't take this for granted. And thank you for your willingness to share your life experience and to come live on the journey so far with your marriage and your life journey so far. I pray as we start, we will not just entertain, we will not just have fun, but the purpose to transform life, the purpose to change life, to affect life positively, will be made manifest by the grace of God. Thank you. Now, I want to give you the floor, sir. How you are able to, like the discussion we had, you said you have from age 11. From age 11, you have been having some issues with pornography, and you were addicted to pornography and porn and masturbation. Please, can you take us from the age 11 till the time which God helped you? Just take us on a short journey, the background, what we need to know before our questions will start coming up.
Again, thank you for having me. It's a great opportunity for me to share the story. I believe via the story and via today's discussion, many lives will be transformed, and homes will be restored, and people will gain freedom. Will gain freedom in the name of Jesus. So at the age of like I said, 12, 13, I grew up in a family of 4. I'm the first of the child. I'm the eldest of 4. So I grew up in a very wonderful home. My parents are very hardworking. My mom, she's very hardworking. She's late now. My dad, very, very hardworking. But as a first child, I think maybe not knowing how to handle my behavior or my how I react to things or my characteristics, it was very challenging getting along with my parents. So that drove me kind of further away from my parents, whereby I love staying outside more, or staying in family friends' home or friends' home, rather than staying in my own house because of constant aggravation with my parents. In this process, my family friend member introduced me to porn. So that was the first initial time. So my first introduction to pornography was through a family friend at the family friend house.
Okay.
So that began my journey. So I started. It started with magazine, Playboy magazine. Then it went to VHS. While we still had the VHS back then in Nigeria, then went to DVD. So while I was staying with my mom, I still don't understand how my mom never knew what I was doing while she was sleeping at night, because I had quite a lot of Playboy magazines under my bed, and the way it worked was that my mom, she used to have a restaurant then, a store and a restaurant then, where she had to wake up in the morning, early in the morning, like 3 o'clock. So when she's waking up is when I normally go to bed. So that's when over the night I'll be consuming my pornography, Playboy magazine. I'll be consuming it over the night. So when she's waking up, I'm going to bed. But she never understood what was going on while I was young, all those times. So gradually then, in Nigeria, I remember back then, I would then steal from my mom in order for me to pay for my Playboy magazine, in order for me to buy some of those material, which was very difficult for you to get in Nigeria. So that was it then. At the age of 15, I lost mom. So, but back then, before that, the very first time I masturbated, both of my parents were inside the house, and I was in the room alone. And what happened with this when you're consuming porn? What people don't understand is when you're consuming porn over time without an outlet, you realize that you need to express yourself. So that was how I discovered masturbation for the very first time. We were very young, and then I began to realize kind of the pattern of every day I watch porn and I masturbate. That was a gradual process. So when I lost my mom, my friend, again, a school friend, then I was in secondary school, said, look, let's go and try out those things that we've been working. So let's go and sleep with prostitutes. So the very first person I slept with was a prostitute. So here I was as a 15-year-old man watching porn, and now I'm sleeping with a prostitute. That was my lifestyle. Even then, before I left Nigeria, when I was living in Kogi State, I have prostitute that I sleep with in Kogi State back then in Lokoja. I remember clearly, and my dad never knew what was going on. And even when I went to Lagos, I will always find a way because I had to express myself. Because this is what happened when you're watching, when you're exposing yourself to porn, you want to express yourself with different kind of things you're saying. So that was my behavior, but things began to change gradually. I realized that the more I watch porn, the more I want to try out different things with different women. Or sometimes I realized that in order for me to have erection, maybe before when I started, erection was easy to have. But as time now went by, I realized that in order for me to have erection, I need to watch more wide or more what I call obscene porn movie to get my erection. So it was now taking longer for me to have erection. I didn't see that as an issue. I didn't think that was an issue. But as soon as I didn't that was an issue. But so I left Nigeria age 20. So when I got to England, things got worse because in England you have it everywhere. I mean, it's not like in Nigeria where you're looking for it. Freedom is there. In England, you have it everywhere in the restaurants. I say restaurant, in the shops. No one will tell you what you're buying. In Nigeria, they will look at you while you're buying the magazine. Nobody cares. Everybody just face their own business. So here I was alone, and I was going on about buying more of the material. Then I was spending more time. Then I discovered again where I could get a prostitute in England, which was in Soho Square. So, which was another add-on. So that was my lifestyle. I didn't have I wouldn't have a particular girlfriend. Was watch porn, masturbate, then sleep with prostitute. But over time, I noticed that the kind of porn I was exposed to was getting dangerous because while I was watching something that was soft, I was watching something that was more dangerous because the urge, the erection, in order for me to get erection was now becoming difficult. Now let's fast forward. By the time I got to university, it went very bad because at university we had a very fast internet network. So all I do is I'll just plug my laptop and download it. And I was having issue. Then I started having issue with my concentration. I found it difficult to concentrate at school. Then masturbation was, I'll be in lecture, I will rush out, I'll go to the toilet to masturbate. Different women, Monday to Friday. I have different girlfriends at the university. At the same time, I was still going to sleep with prostitutes. So that was my lifestyle. Then I began to have issue with my sleep, because in order for me to sleep, I realized that I needed to masturbate. Or sometimes when I'm unhappy, I realized that I need to use masturbation just to kind of a coping mechanism to relax myself. And it was getting worse and worse. So I began to notice something again, that the more I masturbate, the more I begin to inflate quite a lot of pain in my private part. Because that's what people don't understand, that when the private part is, especially for the men, our private part is very sensitive. The skin is very tender. So the more you self-stimulate constantly, of course, you begin to have bruise. You begin to have cuts. So I remember, and I begin to have swollen irritation around my private part. I remember I went to my GP once. I was telling my GP that why was I having swollen part? Why was I having swollen around my groins? And he was saying maybe I was having too much of sugar. But I knew what I was doing. I was inflating constant self-stimulation on myself. Now, that wasn't the worst case. The worst case was, even though I was having bruises all over myself, but I still couldn't stop masturbating. So my victim was not getting worse. So what used to be fun, what started out as fun, then if you remember what I told you, it started out as fun. At age 12, it was fun. Then it became an habit. From habit, it took over my entire life, whereby sometimes instead of me, if you give me an example, I'll give an example now. I would rather feed my addiction than put food on the table. That was how bad it was. As a student, I would rather take my money to sleep with a prostitute or buy pornographic material rather than put food on the table. That was how bad my situation was becoming. Now, nobody knew what I was going through, but I knew the pain I was going through. So there was a situation also whereby there was this particular day, I just finished watching porn, and something in me was telling me that, look, I need to try out what I was seeing on the TV. So I called the prostitute I used to use back in the day. I said, look, I'm coming over. As soon as I just came there, I went into a sex store. I go into the sex store. I told the guy that, look, I need to be able to last longer, because this is what happens. You begin to watch this movie. You think you could spend 1 hour, 2 hours having sex, but it's not real. There's a lot of things going on. So here was I trying to get a drug that will help me to last longer. Unknowingly for me, I took the drug, but as soon as I took the drug, I started feeling busy. I got the prostitute knocked on the door. She said she was busy. I sat down on the staircase and I was feeling busy. I didn't know why. As soon as I entered our room, she said, am I okay? I said, yes. But she couldn't understand what I was doing. So we did what we wanted to do, had sex, but she put me out of because I couldn't stand up from the bed because of the dizziness. So she pushed me out of which is so funny, pushed me out of our room. So here was I staggering along on the street of Soho, and I got to a particular place next to the bar, and I collapsed. And that was the last thing I remember. I collapsed. So the next thing I remember was me now. I woke up in the hospital. When I woke up in the hospital bed, I realized that I had a mask on my face. There was a drip, and the doctor were around me, were asking me, sorry, sir, what was going on? Why do you want to commit suicide? Why do you want to kill yourself? And I was telling them, I didn't want to commit suicide. I was having fun. I wanted to take a drug that would help me or enable me to last longer. And now I found myself in the hospital bed. But the guy said, no, you took poison. I said, I didn't take any poison. I went to a sex shop to purchase a drug. So it took probably a whole day for my system to cleanse because they said there was a poison in my system. But I didn't buy poison. I only buy sex drug. Guess what? Maybe 2-3 days later, I went back to Soho Square doing the same thing, sleeping with a prostitute. So that was my lifestyle. It was getting bad. And so there was this particular incident. I went to Soho Square again. You know, like I said to you, then I had maybe, I don't know, maybe you understand the technology world. I could have up to 300 gig or 400 gig of porn material on my laptop, and it wasn't enough. I was all constantly looking for more. So there was this time in Soho Square, something in my mind said to me, "You've watched all the pornography material. Why don't you try same-sex porn?" And in me, somebody said to me, "I can't do this, man," because I knew I started with women, porn, watching porn or gangbang porn. Why would I start going towards same-sex pornography? So now there was a war. There was a constant war in my mind where I was fighting. I was constantly fighting the thought, because here I was each time I'm on the Soho Square, it would be telling me, "Oh, why don't you go and watch gay porn?" You know, but I knew that was a no-go for me. It got so bad, I was contemplating killing myself. That I think it's better for me to jump. I would rather jump in front of the train or jump from my high tower building I was living there in the flat than ever watch pornography. So that was my lifestyle. So now I repeated my first year at university. Nobody knew then. And this is why I always tell parents or even people, anyone consuming pornography, it does affect your mindset, your brain, ability to concentrate, ability to process information. So I failed my first year. My second year was just a pass. My third year, my third year, while I was preparing for my final year exam, I was sitting down and I couldn't read. I was telling myself, how am I going to prepare for my exam when I couldn't focus? Because I couldn't just, that's the time, I couldn't process information in my brain. It was difficult. And I was crying. I was crying so much. I went on a website for pornography. I was watching that. I was masturbating. I was beginning to cry. I said, this is going to be my life. This is a life. Because then, for me, it wasn't fun anymore. I just wanted a way out. That day I was crying so much, and I cried. I said, Father, I grew up in, don't get me wrong, I grew up in a Christian home. And I just said, Father, I didn't know where it came from. It was an anguish. Father, please take this away. And to me, that I never knew, but that was the beginning of it. I called, because during that same day, I packed all of my material, all my pornography magazine, packed them out, put them in a bin bag, threw them away. Before, if I decided, if I said to myself that, look, I would like to publish habits, and I packed all this material, put them in a bin bag, throw them away. The night I was back before going to bed, I'll go into the bin, unpack it, arrange it back in the shelf. I couldn't break the circle. But this time around, I said no, enough is enough. So that began my journey as a Christian. Gave my life to the Lord. When I gave my life to the Lord, at the addiction never stopped. Because I remember then I began to talk, having this conviction, strong conviction that watching porn wasn't good. But that was the only difference. Before I didn't have any conviction. But now I was having conviction so bad that I could be in church and they were preaching, I couldn't hear anything. Because I was trying to, it's a dialogue, saying there's nothing wrong with watching porn. And I would come home after church, watch porn, or sometimes I watch porn, but the conviction was so bad. But I realized that something needs to do. And I made up my mind that I need to break up this habit. You know, I will never wish the process on my enemy. And that's why I always tell people that what you think is fun is dangerous, because the process of coming out, the process of renewing my mind, the process of constantly trying to control my erection, because back then my erection was a mess. My erection was totally gone because my erection was irregular, because I could be walking on the street, I would have erection. I could be in the house, I would have erection. It would last longer. So because of the way I've trained the body, my erection was just a total mess. So I remember back in the days, one of the things I was praying for was Lord, my erection, because of the kind of the amount of information I've processed, the amount of hours I've spent masturbation, it actually destroyed I've always say destroy my erection. But the most important thing I will always say is that the journey towards freedom wasn't easy. There were many nights I would just wake up in the night crying, asking that, does this thing, am I ever going to be free? Because of the mental image of the women I've been exposed to, the kind of things I've seen. Those things will be playing. Even when I'm sleeping, they'll be playing in my mind in such a way that I can sleep without even masturbating, I will ejaculate. And I'll sleep again, I will ejaculate. So you begin to ask why. People ask me why. Because the mind is now taking all the memory pictures that I have over time. It's now feeding my body, kind of like autopilot. So that's why sometimes when I speak to people, I tell them that, look, sometimes freedom is good, but you must be ready to pay the price. There's a price to pay for freedom. You need to work it out. So that was my journey. Thank God. The reason why I said thank God was because when I did freedom and I met my wife, there was a 7-year gap. I think it was 7 years or 6 years gap. And there was no way I could have married my wife with the same mindset. I would have destroyed my home. There was no way. There was no way. To bring that kind of mindset into a marriage, I would have destroyed my home. So I thank God that my erection was fixed then. I remember I was thinking to one of my mentors then, and I was telling him I never want to marry. When the guy said to me, I need to get married. Because I really don't want to get married because of the kind of things I've seen, the kind of images I've seen about women, the kind of things I've done. So I always believe that I want to stay pure, like a saint, like a bishop or something like that, not to touch a woman. But I realized that she said you need to get married. So fast forward, I thank God that staying not only free but restored before getting married was the best thing that ever happened to me. Because there was no way I could have kept my home. If I've taken that same mindset, I would have destroyed my home totally. But now, when I got married, I was off, because when I say off, I wasn't sexually active. Yeah, because the way I program, I kind of program my mind kind of extreme. And that's the danger sometimes. To the point that sex was a no-no. So I program my mind that I don't want to have sex. You understand? So coming into the marriage, sometimes my wife will ask me that, don't you want to have sex? But I do feel like I'll give different excuses. Why not have sex? Every time. So it got so bad that she was saying that, is anything wrong with you? But I knew what the challenge was, because by the grace of God, I realized that I programmed myself. So I realized I need to reprogram myself. Started making an effort, and over time, things began to change. But what I would say is that if anyone is exposed, there's a way out. Because, like I said, I started the ministry, or not ministry, a platform whereby I coach people, families, individuals looking for help. But most importantly, my job is to ensure that people gain freedom. Freedom is not going to be easy. It's a lot of work. Even as Christian, if you're ready to work, it's a lot of work. But as a couple, I thank God that I was free, I was restored before I got married. Because if that was the case, forget it. There was no way I was going to be in my marriage. You understand? And I really, really give God thanks for that, because it's a life transforming situation. And now, whereby I help a lot of couples, I understand what they're going through. Because a man that's having issue with a wife, or not touching the wife, what many women do not understand, or many women that even in the situation of pornography, is that you expose your mind. When you expose your mind to all different kind of women, what stimulates you is now different. The kind of stimulation you're looking for, you will never get it from your wife or your husband. So because it's not possible. What I call them the virtual women, the virtual men. So it's a lot of process. And with the women I work with, some will tell you, my husband has not touched me in 2 years. My husband has not touched me since we got married. It's difficult. difficult.
As a result of pornography and masturbation.
Of course, it's simple. Don't get me wrong. There might be other factors, you know. Medical factors, like, which is very, very important. Other medical factors like erection that would affect people, a man, or different underlying factor. But when it comes to this area, 99% of men struggle to entertain or have intercourse with their wife because of the kind of things they've been exposed to mentally and what stimulates them. Because the moment a man cannot have erection, having sex with their opposite partner, with their women, becomes something they're not interested in, because there's a way to get in erection, which is the women on the internet or the internet pornography. So that was my life. So we're helping men, working with men for the past, since I started, for the past 10 years, working with different people, couples. But now I've been focusing on it because of the assignment God has given me to bring hope to men, to parents, and to family. So that's my story.
God be praised. Sir, congratulations.
Thank you.
God is wonderful. If I get you right, sir, you say you lost your mom at age 15.
Yes.
And you were with your dad.
Yes.
We were living in your own room. You were in your own. You had a separate room.
Yes, I have my own separate room, but you know, with this addiction, you find a way to do what you need to do. If you have to stay in the toilet,
however, wherever,
whether you have to stay in the toilet or when that is in the office, I'm at home alone, you find a way. There always will find a way. That one is not. That's what I always tell parents. If you have a child that's going through this issue, one of the tell signs you look for is a pattern. A pattern is such a way that things they don't usually do, and they started doing it just out of the blue. You know, don't get me wrong, you need to be very careful. See, for example, your child just started spending time in the toilet for no reason. They just want to be alone for this reason. They want to be with their phone 24 hours. You need to be watchful as parents. So for men that are married, it's very simple. They will always want to be away from their wife in the nighttime. You understand?
Now, sir, at what point did you see yourself making up your mind, getting ready to let go?
I think, you know, like I said, if you look at what I said, medically, I was having issue, constant pain, headache, stomach upset. You know, and like I said to you, if you look at my entire, when you do constant, ask any man out there. When you constantly masturbate, you will have irritation around your private part. You will. Nobody can tell me that. You will. And when the irritation is there and it's not dry, and you keep masturbating, what happens? You have a pain. You have cuts. You begin to have wound around your private part. So you can't control
gradually.
Yes, you can't control the addiction, self-stimulation. So the pain, even the pain in no. So you're having pain, you're masturbating. It's like everything is just a mess. And I think the total straw for me was when the thought, because you expose your mind, the thought of watching gay porn was something I would never do. Same sex. You know, I couldn't even imagine it. Like, how can I try watching women, man to woman? How would I end up? You know, I couldn't phantom it. So it was at that point I knew something was stop. Also, my finances was a mess because, like I said to you, rather than put food on the table as a student, I'll go and buy pornography on the internet, download magazines, sleep with prostitute. So there are many factors that was just, you know, it's like you're living in the darkness, you know, unhappy. So you just you know, enough is enough. You just have to stop.
This is God at work. It wasn't just the pain. It wasn't just all those things, but God at work. God that knows that He has a purpose for your life, and He couldn't just watch you destroy your whole life. So he has to come in and make it, there's this thing I used to say, and when God is ready for you, he can use anything to get you. I think that is one of the things God used, the pain, for you to see the pain. Because I heard a story where they would say some people will even take some hard drugs for them not to feel those pains. But God has helped you that you are not even thinking of going to that side. And so now worsening the thing, the sexual enhancement that you were taking was against you, because God was at work in your life and still at work, because of today, because of people that God wants to use you to rescue, because of the children God wants you to minister to, because of the parents. Father in heaven, we just want to say thank you once again. Now, we are grateful to God that you came out of it before you get married. And if I understand you well, you said at the early stage of your marriage, sex was like, it's not part of it. You are not interested.
Yes.
Ma'am, I want to ask Madam, at this time, when you were the one struggling, when you were the one trying to make sure that at least your marital thing is fulfilled, how were you coping? How were you passing your message across to your husband? And sir, 2-in-1 question: was your wife aware before the marriage, before you go into the marriage? Did you explain to your wife what your life was all about?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Now, Madam, the question for you.
Yeah, when we were courting, he told me everything that he had been through and the assignments God had given him. So obviously, I had a choice to rather stay or go. But however, from the kind of background that I grew up with, I knew that nobody had a clean slate. It's not everybody that will get married as a virgin. And I myself, I wasn't exactly the most holy. Do you understand? So it was something that I had to ask the Lord to help me with at first, because when you hear that kind of thing, and it's not something that people would just say, but he was very, I guess because he had been healed, he had been made whole in that regard, he could talk about it wholly. So it wasn't as if he was afraid or he was ashamed of it. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but he was comfortable in who he was, and he was confident in the assignment that God had given him. So for me, that really helped me in that regard, because I knew what he was doing. And if there's always a message for every mess that we go through. So that really helped me to solidify why I wanted to be with him. And when I was courting him, one of my mentors said to me that I needed to know the role that I would play in his life. I wasn't just I needed to know my core assignment in his life, for his vision to be fulfilled. And so until I found that, I was okay with it. But when we got married, I thought that, okay, since you have been healed and you've been made whole, everything should be going on steady. So it wasn't as if we had sex before we got married. So why are you now running away from the bedroom? And I would ask him, he would say, oh, he's working, he's tired, or I'll be tired. And I'll be like, okay, I'm going to bed. And then he gave me different excuses. So sometimes I'll be like, okay, let's do it in the morning, at least before we go to work. He'd be like, oh, if I do before we go to work, I'll be tired, I want to sleep. I'd be like, most people, when they do it in the morning, that's when they are ginger to fulfill their days, their day's work. So it was, in fact, I think at a point, I was very close to speaking to my mentors. No, actually, I told one of my very mentors, and I said to her, and I said, Mommy, your son is not touching me, he's not sleeping with me, and I want to have children. So what is going to happen? And she said to me, what do you mean? I said, Mommy, he's not touching me. We say he's working, or he came back home late. He has to do this, he has to do that. So at first, it was difficult. After a while, I think I just sort of took my mind off. When it happened, it happened. And then I think later on, I think after the first year, I said, no, this cannot go on again. No, I want to have children. I don't want to be waiting long. I don't want to turn to prayer points to be looking for and be praying for children. If God has healed you, God has restored you. So let's carry on and be doing it. for me, so that was it really. In the first year, it was more like a struggle. He wouldn't want to sleep in the bedroom. He would, he would make every excuse. He would say he's doing something. So obviously, by the time he comes to bed, me, I'm already asleep because I'm tired. I have to wake up early the next day to go to work. So that was it, ma'am.
Wow. Ma'am, I want to say this to our viewers. You know, some people as singles going into marriage, there are a lot of things that we need to consider. You know, being open to each other is very, very important.
Very important.
Imagine he has not told you this before going into the marriage. You are encountering such things. You will be thinking this way. He will be thinking this way. The problem will not even have. You cannot even think of how to go about the solution because you will be thinking it's a different thing. Why he knows that this is the problem. There are some men that know that they have problem of erection. They will be deceiving and say, don't worry, I don't want to have sex before marriage. You know, the Holy Book say marriage is honorable in all bed. Instead of them to go open and say, this is my problem. You don't even know whether it's your spouse, the woman you are talking to that can even help you. No one know. So my advice to people that are about to get married or still searching is for you to be open. No matter how dirty you think your life is, no matter how rough you think the life is, just go ahead. Sorry,
the truth of the matter, is that if you tell somebody your honest truth, whoever God has ordained for you will stay. It might seem like a long road, but you want the person who will help you to fulfill purpose. That's how I see it. It's not everybody that you're called to marry, but there's somebody that God has called you to marry. So that's how it is.
I wish my viewers will take this. It is not everybody that you are destined to marry. Whoever God has destined for you. You know, God removed you as a woman from a man's rib. And that man's rib is the missing rib. You will go back into it. Like if you remove the half of this iPad, if you remove half of it now and you want to go and join it to a Samsung tab, it will not go together. So we should all know that you are for somebody, and no matter how rough, no matter how bad, that person is waiting for you because you're the only one that can fit in to that person's life. That is a message for my viewers. God bless you. Now, I want to okay, you have answered that. Now, Mr. Elisha, I want to ask you, out of all the efforts you make, all the things you try in stopping, which one in particular, if you can remember, that worked for you, that help you in stopping it totally?
You know, like I said to you, it's not. I can't put one hand. If you look at it, like I said to you, I gave my life to God. That was the beginning. That was the foundation. That was very, very crucial. That was
okay. Okay. And so, for the fact that you came up from a Christian home and being a church boy, not born again, being a church boy, it helped you.
Yes.
I
won't say it helped me. I think going to the right church helped me. Because growing up as a church boy doesn't mean I knew the Lord. I grew up in a Christian home doesn't mean I was in England for 10 years. I didn't attend church. So that doesn't mean I wanted to know the Lord. I grew up in I grew up in a Christian home. But I was in England for 10 years where I didn't even enter church once. So going to the Lord, going on.
Now, I want to respond to this to our viewers. Being in the right place is very important. There are so many people that somehow they are just doing what they are doing. They've not really find out whether they're in the right place or whether they are getting what the right things from where they are. Because some of us are just Christians, some of us are just going to churches, and you don't know whether that is just like a woman is removed from a particular rib. There is a particular place that is meant for you, and until you get there, your life cannot be transformed. Viewers should take note of this. He said something that I need to emphasis on. You know, now most people still think that watching pornography help them to be able to get into the mood. I want to say to us openly that you cannot get the mood. You are only destroying the original you that God has given you. If I'm correct, Mr. Kolade, please just agree with me. Because the person that, just like Mr. Kolade said, the person that you are watching is on so many drugs, so many things. He's not acting on his own. The female and the male, they're acting on something. So they are acting because of money. And because they want to make money, they've taken so many things, which is poison to your system. Take it or leave it. Even them that are managing it, it's a poison to them. And by the time you now watch, you see a woman putting head on the floor, raising her leg up, and you now expect your wife to do the same thing. He could walk. He cannot walk because that woman you watch doing that thing is not doing it on her own plain eyes. And when a man has taken something to enhance the poison, in quotes, now a man will go for 1 hour. He has not released. And you now, your husband that God has blessed you with, that maybe he's just a fight, but because you have watched something, you have positioned your mind that after all, a man, that man that is doing 1 hour is not ordinary. So watching porn to enhance your sexual life as couples, it's a no, no, no. I hope I'm in order, Mr. Kolade. Yes, now, Madam Temi, yes, Madam Temi, the difference between then and now. Don't forget, viewers, the power of prayers. Power of prayers. There is nothing, anything you think you have done in this life and you are not able to achieve. Go back to God. It's the last solution and the only solution. So let us not even waste our time looking for solution where there is no solution. Let us all go back to God. Now, Madam Temi, those period of your first time and now, please, can you tell us, women, maybe some women are still in this same position and are still in this same situation and they are battling. They don't know how to go about it. They don't know what to do. They are dying in silence because another problem that is killing most people, you know, you were talking to to somebody.
Yes.
When you were yes. Some people don't even want to talk about it. And the moment you are still keeping these things, that is how more problem will be coming. More problem. The devil will be whispering so many things to your mind. So for the fact that you were able to speak to somebody, that helped. So, Ma, the difference between then and now, can you just give us a little out of plenty that you have?
Okay, so I think when I was pregnant with my first son, I was very, very sick. I had like really, really bad morning sickness that I couldn't stay in the same room as my husband. I bought him perfume, and when he sprayed that perfume, I would literally go and throw up. So sex for us then was a no-no because I couldn't even come near him. So it was now a case of me that was chasing him, now became the one that was running away. Wow. So I think we spoke about it. We were talking about it. I would try because then I was not even getting lubricated because my body was just not agreeing with me. I was very, very sick. Sometimes I would end up in hospital at different times. But even after I now had my son, it was now a case of I was now using my son to stay away from sex. I would say I was tired. I would use every opportunity not to even come because at that point, I think I was sort of used to not even doing it as much anymore. Because of, I was looking at how my body had been through. I'd had the baby. I was not myself. My body was not firm like before. I felt like I was fat. So I had different emotions and hormones running through my body. And I just felt like, okay, this is not. And then thankfully, he sort of understood me and he really tried. He really tried. So with then and now, I'll say that the reverse was the case. But however, I could only speak to my mentors because they were with us from the moment we started courting. So from the moment we said we wanted to get married, they were with us. They mentored us, they counseled us, they were very truthful and very raw with us. So I would say if anybody is single you need to ensure that you have somebody that you can genuinely trust, because a lot of people are counselors, but they will not tell you what they are going through in their own homes. So that is very key. You need to find somebody who would actually tell you the truth and be honest about the things, the different phases that happen in marriage. So from the moment you first get married, when you have children, when the children start coming into it, you know, when they grow up, the different phases of marriage. So sometimes you would have to get somebody who has at least over 10 years of marriage to be able to take you through that first phase of marriage, to be able to guide you properly. And they have to be very solid Christians. So that's number one. Number two, now it's more of we're a work in progress. I wouldn't say we're there yet, because sometimes I still run away from my duties, but we're a work in progress. I would say I'm definitely much better than where I was coming from and where I am now. So I learn, I apply, and I do that ever so often.
Thank you very much for that beautiful response. Mr. Kolade, this question is for you, sir.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah. What advice do you have for parents? Parents that have teenagers, that have young children, and social media. Please, what advice did you have for them? For us parents.
Okay, there are two things that are we need to look at it from. Number one, let's look at it from a parent that has a home with a child or a children with access to internet. They've got iPad. I've always believed that every home is not me putting out scaremongering out there to the parent, but we live in a generation now where the battle for the mind of every child is at stake. We live in a social engineering world now where everything is looking for how to buy into the mind of the next generation. Now, I've always believed that every home you have what I call a strategy and a plan. That's what I do when I'm speaking to parents in my parenting coach. You need to, number one, understand, as you educate your child about sex. I was saying to my wife,
very important.
If a parent, if your child is the first person to ask you about sex, I call it a failure. In this world we live in, I'll call it a failure. I'm sorry to say that. I'm going to put my head on it. I'll call it a failure because I was saying to my wife this morning, I don't think we understand the world we're living in right now. I don't think some parents still understand the virtual space that their children, the terrain they are going into. So you need to have a structure of sex education. When I say structured sex education, based on the age, if you have a different age group, there's a different strategy. You can't just use the same strategy of talking to 8 years old or 10 years old to speak to 12 years old.
Wow.
If you haven't started, there must be. I always tell to parents, every parent needs to have what I call a personal journal for their child. What are the courses we're discussing? This is not about school subjects. Why am I saying this? We live in a time where even all schools, say for example in UK now, in America, most European countries, they have a curriculum, a syllabus of sex subjects, what they will teach our children. As a parent, what is your own home curriculum? Your own sex curriculum. I'm not talking about just speaking and just throwing it out there. They have a structured way of how to shape your child perspective. You need to have your own content, your own sex education topic to shape your child content. Now, this is where we have hope. The Bible says, and this I always go to, even me as a father, when I'm having negative thought that God, will this thing work? It goes back to two things. He said, I trust Abraham. He will teach, he will train his children after me. The emphasis God puts on training, not just casual training. Solomon says, what do you call it? The part of what do you call it? Train a child in the way he should go. Those two scriptures settled it for me that God's foundation still works. Like I said, every home, based on the age group of your children, there needs to be a strategy in play. It's very, very important. You cannot disseminate. You cannot use the same content used for 12 years old for a 14-year old. So there must be a strategy in place. If your child, if they've got access to internet, there must be a plan in place. As a parent, this is a real truth. You need to have an audit of all the kind of games your child are playing. What is involved in all these games? I'm careful in choosing my words. What kind of website do they go to? Like one of the training I was giving to parents, there are 4 things every child will do on the internet, whether we like it or not. I call it the 4 quad. Number 1, communication zone. Your child will either be chatting to somebody online or sending a message online. Number 2,
very correct.
Number 2, creative. They will either be doing the assignment, trying to do video, trying to develop application codes, trying to do something creative. Number 3, I call it active. They are constantly looking for maybe playing games online. You understand? Because most games are online. They're trying to play games, trying to do something online gaming and stuff like that. And number 4 is what I call passive. They're online looking for videos to watch. In all these 4 areas, there are different risk exposure. The question is, every parent needs to know what each of their child is doing in all these 4 areas and put the right process in place. We can't take our child from internet. The internet is the future. That is where the new world is. The new innovation is going to be the internet. The question is, we need to learn to empower our children to be in that world. We can't take them out of it. We have to train them to succeed in that world. So every parent needs to look at those 4 areas and look at any area of risk they need to mitigate in their own child, in their own family. Every family is unique. You see some child, my young boy now is playing with phone, he's looking at camera. That means he's in the creative zone. But I'm going to guarantee you, by the time the guy goes to 8 or 9, he's going to start moving to game. Every child will go through those 4 quad, those 4 zones. Every child, even as adults, some will go through those 4 areas. Even as an adult, we do that as well. So it's very, very important that is the way parents can keep their home. Plus the internet safety. Every parent needs to be very, very smart. I don't care if you're sending your child to 1 million pounds, £1 million per term school. You need to be highly productive, highly active in educating your child, in knowing what they're doing on the internet, in order for them to succeed in this learning.
Thank you very much. Now, I want you to just use 2 minutes to advise every other man out there that may find themselves in this situation and maybe don't see any reason why they should change. Just advise them in 2 minutes because our time is fast spent, so that we can advise
I think
our men out there.
I think for the men I work with, you cannot force a camel to the water. You need to make up your mind. There are many people that have come to me, Brother Elisha, we need help. By the time I have a 30-minute discovery with them, I'll tell my wife that they're not ready. And it's true, they're not ready. The one that are ready, you know they are ready. So you have to know why you want to have this thing done. If the why is not strong enough, you are just going to waste your time. But I will pray you make the decision to do it now, because the consequence is greater. What used to be fun will become something that will be negative going forward. So get somebody, like we have different kind of program that will help men with, but find somebody that can help you, that has a testimonial and structure process in place that will take you on the journey. There is no shame in looking for freedom. at the end of the day, you are the one that will experience the freedom, nobody else. That's my advice, man.
Thank you very much. God bless you. Now, for our viewers, for the people that are watching right now and people that will watch later, because by the grace of God, this video will be live, will be on YouTube, it will be here on our page. I will send to Mr. Kolade for him to share as well, because every home, as in every home, young, old, married or single, need to hear this. And I want us to know that Mr. Kolade is someone that God has prepared in this our time now to coach, to mentor the children, parents, on how to overcome the addiction of pornography and masturbation. God bless you. Now, let's go into our game for the day. It's still the journey so far in this marriage. I want to know how well you people know each other. And let me use this opportunity to thank as many that have been watching with us from the beginning until now. Thank you very much. We really do not take you for granted. Seriously, I can't even see to read out the name, but serious, thank you. I love you, and I will always appreciate you. Mr. Kolade, this question is for you, sir. How well did you know your wife? And my number one question is very simple. As in very, very simple. Do you have a paper and a biro there?
Yes.
Okay, you will write your answer and show me, and she will write her answer and show all of us. What was her favorite subject when she was in secondary school?
I don't know. I don't know.
He said, oh, he said, you don't know that one.
I think it's
okay, madam, reverse.
I think it's chemistry.
Madam.
Okay. For him, he didn't really have one.
No. I want you to write it.
He didn't have.
Okay, he didn't have any. Is that no? I don't want to believe he doesn't have any favorite subject.
He did. The reason why I said he didn't have any because he wasn't focused in school because of what he went through.
He was not serious.
Yes. Yes. That's why.
Thank God for a changed life. And you, what is okay? You said he doesn't have any, but what was your own favorite subject?
He was guessing chemistry. I liked my sciences, so I liked my biology, chemistry, and physics. So he got half right.
Which is first?
I liked biology more and chemistry.
Mr. Kolade. Mr. Kolade. Mr. Kolade.
I'm hearing you.
Answer me now.
I can hear you.
Mr. Elisha.
Yes, I can hear you.
Like you can't hear me.
I can hear you.
We can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, now you know her favorite subject when she was in secondary school. You are going to give me a gift for letting you to know. Understand? Now, please, can you pick Mrs. Temi?
Yes.
Please, can you pick a number?
Out of how many? Is it 1 to 10 or 1 to 20?
1 to 10.
Okay, I'll pick number 5.
Number 5. What was the name, or what is the name? Mr. Kolade, your father is still alive?
No, he's late. He's
late.
Oh, okay. When he was alive, what was the nickname they used to call him?
Well, he didn't have a nickname from his dad, but I know what they call him in secondary school. They used to call him Calcium.
Not your husband, the father.
Oh, my father-in-law. They call
your
him
late father-in-law.
Prof.
No, I don't think you.
Prof.
You don't know it.
I wanted you to write it so that I will confirm it by writing it as well.
You got it wrong. She didn't even know it. Why would they call him Prof?
Wait, was it professor?
It wasn't a Prof.
Okay, so what did they call him?
I don't know.
He doesn't even know. But from what I know, what his brother told me was professor. He wasn't really close with his dad, so it was professor. He used to call him professor. That one I know. I know that one very well.
Okay. Let's leave that. Mr. Kolade, you don't know either. right? Please be noting these questions down. You have to go back. You have to go back and know and be telling each other the answer. That is the reason why we say the journey so far and how well did you know each other. It's fun anyway. Mrs. Mr. Kolade, please pick number.
Number 1.
Number 1. How old presently is the eldest woman or man in your wife's family? Write it. Oh my God. This thing has refused to connect. So, hello, we are listening.
Okay, yeah. I've written it.
Ma?
They said the oldest.
The eldest, the oldest, right the now, oldest. Either a man or a woman.
Ma, I didn't do my research at that point. So.
Madam Temi?
Yes, ma.
Are you enjoying this section?
Yes, ma.
Hello?
Yes, ma.
I hope our viewers are enjoying this section as well because I'm enjoying it. Now, you got it wrong. Mr. Kolade, my gift is increasing. Oh. My gift. I will make sure I collect all. Mrs. Kolade, please pick your question. No, before then, how old is the eldest in your family right now?
My dad's older brother, and
which is?
I think it's about 76 or 77.
You are not even sure.
I don't know his age. They don't share age.
So I give it to okay, you don't even need to you're not supposed to even know his age, at least have an idea of who he is.
No,
so
but my dad's older brother.
I'm talking to Mr. Kolade that at least you should have an idea. Even if he cannot tell us exact year, he can tell us the person. Mr. Kolade, please take note. Mrs. Kolade, your number.
I'll take number 4.
Number 4. We've taken. I'm coming. We've taken 1. The one you took the other time was
number 5.
3. Yes. We're taking 1, 2. You are taking number 5. You're taking number 5 now.
No, I'm taking number 4 now. I took number 5 before.
Okay, you're taking 4, 5 now. 4, 5. Now, what color is your husband's best color?
When I first met him, he liked pink. But now I can tell you,
Mrs. Kolade, you are spoiling my game. You are spoiling my game. When you didn't meet him, I want what is his favorite color, and I want it written in paper so that he can confirm it in his own paper.
He doesn't have a favorite color, ma. He doesn't have
a favorite color. Mr. Kolade, should I take that for an answer?
No, that's you're wrong. You're wrong.
Babe. No, that's not nice. Oh yeah, what's your favorite color?
He said that is very wrong.
I like red. I wear red jumpers. I wear red trousers.
Babe, because you wear it. That's not your favorite color. Because you wear it, though.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. Mr. Kolade, please pick a number.
Number 6, yes.
Number 6. What is your wife's bra size?
Overton.
I knew it.
I
know it's double C.
Mrs. Kolade, is your bra size written up?
It's not double C. It's double something, but it's not double C.
Double C.
You have bought before, so you know it. It's double something. It's double something.
Maybe 12C.
Double something. You too. Mrs. Kolade, please, can you help him? You people you are not trying to. You have to go back and do all these things. I'm going to send you from 1 to 100 questions that you need to, on a daily basis, ask each other. That is how to know each other as husband and wife. You know, these days you see couples, you discover that we don't gist, we don't talk, and that's why we don't know. You don't even know. So some people will come back. You come back from work, you gist as in everything. You gossip together. You talk good one, you talk bad one, so that if anybody asks you, what is your husband doing right now? What can your wife do? You should be able to say, this is what she can do, this is what she cannot do. I think getting to know each other is very important as husband and wife. Now, Mr. Kolade,
yes, ma'am.
You missed that. Mrs. Kolade, please, can you help him out?
36 double D or 36
Yeah, but then I was going to say 36 double D.
You were going to say what happened?
Okay, you say, ma'am. I didn't know whether to say 36 double D or 40 double D.
40, no. When is not back?
Okay. Okay, Mrs. Kolade, please, can you pick a question?
Okay,
Can you pick a number?
I'll pick number 7.
We have 5 more questions to go.
Number 7. I'll pick number 7.
Number 7. This is very simple. Very simple. Who is your husband's best friend?
It's me.
Who is your husband's best friend?
It's me.
You.
Yes.
Mrs. Kolade, yes, you are going to give me a gift. You know why? You are not following the rules. I say write it on a paper and show it to me. Let your husband confirm in a paper. Mr. Kolade, is she right? Please don't cover her. Let me know.
She tried.
I tried or I got it right?
She tried.
Okay, so both of you. Viewers, please take note. Your spouse is supposed to be your closest and your best friend. I give it to you. One over. Now, Mr. Kolade, Mr. Kolade, your question?
Number 2.
Sir?
Number
2. When was the last time you both traveled together for a vacation? Write it, please. And to where?
I should write it down.
Yeah.
Write it down. 2 of you should write it down.
Write your own now.
We went to the same place now. He's copying my own.
No. Are you done? Please, can you show us?
He's copying my own. Can you see? Can you see it? Can you see it?
No, I didn't see it. No.
Can you see it now?
Hey, no. I said paper. Me that I'm not wearing my glasses.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Mr. Read it out.
It's September 2018. We went to Rome.
This one that you are saying it out now. What do I do? Mr. Kolade, is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Huh?
All right. Thank you very much. Mrs. Kolade?
Yes,
no, Mr. Mrs. What is your own question now?
Is
your
Mr.
number?
Number 8.
Number 8. No, is it not Mr. Kolade that picked number 7?
No, I was the one that picked number 7.
Okay. Number 8. Number 8. No. When was the last time you bought your wife a gift, and what was the gift? Mrs. Kolade, please. I want to hear from Mr. Kolade. Stop. Are we there?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yesterday.
Mr. Kolade, what was the gift?
What was the gift? What did you buy yesterday?
What was the gift?
I've not received it though. Oh yeah.
Your gift of love now. I cleaned the house.
What did you buy for her?
He said my gift of love, he cleaned the house.
You didn't buy that. You didn't buy that, Mr. Kolade. Okay, I give it to you. Please get her a gift. Mrs. Kolade, get back to me and let me know what the gift is. Mrs. Kolade, your question.
Number 10.
Question.
Number 10.
Number 10. Number 10. Okay. What's your husband's shoe size? Shoe size.
Size 11 or 45 or 46. Size 11 or 45 or 46.
You people are not following rules. I'm going to find you seriously, and I will come back to tell my viewers what your fine was, what your fine is, because you will pay. Mr. Kolade, is she correct?
Yes, she's correct.
She's correct. Before Uncle, will you say she's not correct? Okay, we have number. Okay, I think the last question
is for him.
It's number 3. Hey, it's for 2 of us, 2 of you. Number 3. Okay. We still have 1 more question left. Number 3 and 9. So who is taking number 3? Who is taking number 9?
You take 3, I'll take 9.
Who is coming? Who is first? Who answered the last one? Okay, it's you.
I answered the last one, so he will take first.
Okay, Mr. Kolade, number 3. Hello.
I'm here, ma'am.
Mr. Kolade, are we together?
Yes, ma'am.
What is the birthday of your wife last siblings?
I don't know.
This as small as a kid sister or street brother.
I don't know. The same one, but I don't know. I'm just being honest now. I don't know.
Eh?
I don't know.
I told you.
You said January. Man, I don't know. I'm just trying to be honest now.
Oh, this my guess. You people are taking me. You are taking me somewhere. The place I'm going to collect all the fine I need to collect. Please tell him now your sister or brother's birthday.
He knows it. He knows it because his birthday is immediately after mine. I'm 30th of January. He's 31st of January. So every time I say
Kolade, did you hear that now?
I say it every time.
I'll remember next time.
You know, I can forgive him because most men will say they don't know how to keep dates. Most men say we even forget their own birthday. So
he doesn't even remember.
But Mr. Kolade, please. He doesn't even remember his own birthday. Can you just imagine? Okay, the last question. Mrs. Kolade, which is number 10.
No, number 9.
Sorry, number 9. Number 9. Among this question is 3 in 1. Among the 2 of you, who love public display affection more?
I'll say we're not really public display like that. We can hold hands, but it's no. We're very reserved people. We're not.
It's not. You're reserved people. Okay. Okay. When was okay? Now that you don't even you're not a public display person. So you mean in the public now you cannot just hug each other?
I don't know.
We hug each other. We hug each other. Yes. It's anybody of us that can do that.
In the public?
Yeah.
Okay. So the 2 of you are on the same page. Now the last question. Mr. Kolade.
Yes, sir.
Mrs. Kolade, look into each other's eyes. I'm waiting.
We're looking.
We're looking now.
Mr. Kolade, please log on to Instagram. Instagram people are waiting for you. Still, I want you to come up to the Instagram as well.
You're not on there. You're not on Instagram.
Are you there? I am, except the network is not allowing. I am.
The reception is.
Viewers, thank you for your patience and thank you for waiting with us. We really appreciate. Yeah, for everyone that have joined, thank you. Okay, while we are waiting for that one, please, Mr. Kolade, look straight into your wife's eyes. Mrs. Kolade, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello. This network must not cut here. It must
we're
show.
looking now. We've been looking, man. We've been
Mr.
looking.
Kolade, I am not seeing you people.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We've been looking.
I want you to give your wife a 1 minute. I want you to give your wife a 1 minute non-stop kissing.
On the internet.
Yes. Adult zone. Bedroom zone.
She's got lipstick in her mouth.
She's dodging her mouth. Can you just imagine?
No. She's got lipstick in her mouth. So
she got lipstick in her mouth. These people. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Kolade, I want you to kiss each other. My time starts now.
It's the lipstick. The lipstick always stays funny.
I'm not saying.
I'm just now.
Is the lipstick not on her, not on her lips? The lipstick is there now.
Yeah, but it tastes funny.
I didn't see you. Maybe network is not allowing me.
It's the network, man.
He said it has paused. Network has paused.
Huh?
Network has paused.
Your network is not. It's the network, man.
Okay, viewers, please, can you see? Viewers, can you see them? If you can see them, just let me know. Someone says, so funny. Lord, may I not be a failure. I will not be a failure as well as a parent.
Amen.
Thank you. 2 of you have kissed. The network is not really funny, but why is it now that the network come back? I hope you people are not doing Ojoro. Anyway, it's been an amazing time. We've done like 1 hour, 25 minutes. I want to appreciate you, Mr. and Mrs. Kolade. It takes the grace of God to do this. And the grace of God upon your life, what God has called you for, I pray the Lord will equip you.
Amen.
Please, viewers, you can follow Mr. Kolade. Mr. Kolade, please, if you can just type under bedroom zone all your handles, so that parents can follow you. He has a ministry where he coaches parents, like I said before, children, adults, and how to overcome all this stuff. And by the grace of God, God has been helping him. You can invite him to any gathering, churches, mosque, to come and teach and train people. And it is very, very important. Like he said, it's first, then you are a failure. And like someone said, my prayer, I will never be a failure. You that is watching with us, you will never be a failure by the grace of God. Don't see it as something wrong. Don't see it as something bad, talking about sex with your children. Because if you don't tell them, take it or leave it, right or wrong way, they will definitely hear about it. It could be in the school, like I said, they are already having it in the curriculum. It could be in the church, even, yes, it can be anywhere. So it is better they hear from you and be open, be free with your children, and so that they can be able to tell you anything. Not your children will come and tell you and say, hey, abomination, or you shout him or her down. Next time, the child will not come near you. Instead, they would rather say, let me keep quiet, because if I talk now, mommy or daddy will either flog me or bully me or even shout on one thing or the other that will discourage them. So once again, Mr. and Mrs. Kolade, your home is blessed.
Amen.
Your children are blessed. Your marriage shall continue to be strong and stronger. You will not be tired of each other. Your sexual life will be a blessing to as many around you. And your ministry will grow by the grace of God. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Please don't forget to send all my package, those questions that you missed. And don't forget to go back and learn each other. Those little questions you can ask. Okay, now Mama Budua say, what is your bra size? You don't know. Please tell me. And when she tell you, she'll be able to know what is the elders in your family. All these little questions. What is the name of your compound? What are those things? Those things that we don't can even imagine. Those things from our childhood to our extended family. We should be able to know each other as a couples, and God will help us.
Amen.
Please don't die in silence. Whatever you think you're doing that is not true, that is not good, and you are trying to come out of it, talk to someone, talk to God, and God will help us. Once again, Mr. and Mrs. Kolade, Thank you. I really do appreciate you.
Thank you, Ma. Thank you, Ma, for the opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you. I release you. God bless you. Thank you so much. It's really amazing. To overcome. If you really need the ebook, please drop your email address, or you can, if you don't want it openly, you can DM me or your WhatsApp number, which it shall be sent to you. The ebook, it's very interesting, very interesting. I have read, I'm still reading, I've not finished it, but I can assure you that it's very interesting. Drop your email address, and I or Mr. Kolade will share the ebook with you. Thank you, viewers. Thank you, followers. The Lord bless you. Without you, there is no bedroom zone. Please keep sharing, keep following. By the grace of God, this video will be here on the bedroom zone, and it will be on YouTube channel. And our YouTube channel is Bujua Plus TV. Please subscribe, share, and like. Bedroom Zone on Facebook, bedroom_zone on Instagram. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you. I will always love you. Please get ready, because you may be the next. I love you. I will always love you. Greetings from my able engineer. He's head up somewhere. He promised to be around this evening, but somehow he couldn't make it. It's not intentional, you know. God is helping us. He has to be here and here and here. But love from him. I really appreciate you, my engineer. Once again, thank you for allowing me to do this. I will always love and respect you. Thank you, sir. And thank you, family and friends. I love you, and good night.